I am your host, Lawrence, and this is the Hot 10 Comics of the Week Breakdown. Welcome back to another video. This really popped when I saw it. That to me is a monster increase. Again, this book got hot. This book is ready to go higher. So let's jump right into it. We are back today with another statue review from Diamond Select Toys. Without further ado, let's get into the review. What is good, YouTube? This is Lawrence over at Mighty Comics and Collectibles, and thank you for joining me for another video here on the channel. Today we have the Hot 10 Breakdown of the Week. If you guys aren't familiar with what I do in this video, I take the 10 hottest comics according to the Key Collector app, and I break them down one by one, letting you guys out there in the community know if I'm a buyer of these books at these prices or if I'm staying the hell away. Before we get started, like every episode, I ask you guys, if you're not a current subscriber of the channel, do me a favor, go ahead, click that sub button, smash that like button, because you guys know once we get to 5,000 subs, I'm giving away an Iron Man 1. That's right. If you guys haven't checked out some of my new merch that I have available, the link is below. Make sure you check out all my great products, and let's get into this week's breakdown. Starting off the list this week at number 10 is a copy of Moon Knight number 1 and the first ongoing Moon Knight title series and the origin of Moon Knight, and a CGC 9.6 just sold last week for $235, up 23% over the average. We also had a CGC 9.4 sale for $195, up a crazy 55% over the average. We all remember when this book was going nuts about a year and a half ago, but all Moon Knight keys got absolutely throttled. We're even talking about Werewolf by Night number 32, almost down 60% from the highs. I am not going anywhere near Moon Knight books right now because they have come down way too far, way too quickly. I'm not sure if this is a dead cat bounce, meaning we're going up a little and then right back down again. Regardless, I'm staying away. At the 9th spot this week is a copy of Frankenstein number 1 and the first appearance and origin of Frankenstein in Marvel Comics, and a CGC 9.0 just sold last week for $220, up 1% over the average. We also had a low-grade CGC 3.0 sale for $68, up 46% since January. Now, I am a huge Monster fan, but I'm not seeking these books in these grades right now at this time. But hey, if you want to buy a low-grade beater, or even keep a copy in your collection around $100, $150, I'm totally cool with it. But for me right now, I'm staying away. Coming in at number 8 this week is a copy of Daredevil number 158 and the first artwork by the great Frank Miller on the Daredevil title, and a CGC 9.8 just sold last week for $1,400, up 10% over that average. We also had a CGC 8.0 sale for $140, up 19% over the average. This is one of my favorite Frank Miller covers of all time. Of course, opposing Wolverine number 1 from the limited series. Regardless, I love this book. I want to own this book. I gotta have it in the collection. I'm not buying a 9.8 at $1,400. I think that's overdoing it for the grade. However, I want to own the book, and I think it's 7.5 or higher. I think that's a sweet spot just to own the book. I think it's an awesome key. Other than that, probably not spending a crazy amount of money on this one. At the 7th spot this week is a copy of The Joker number 1 and the first solo Joker title series, and a CGC 9.6 just sold the prior week for $500, up 12% over the average. We also had a CGC 8.0 sale for $220, up 33% over the average. We all know why this book is hot right now, because Joker 2 with Joaquin Phoenix. However, I remember when this book in mid to high grade was about $20. Now all of a sudden they want $200 for this book or higher. I think that's way too much money to spend on the copy of The Joker number 1. If you want to own this book, buy it in low grade, spend nowhere near the amount of money it's going for. Other than that, you're probably spending too much cash. At number 6 this week is a copy of New Mutants 98 and the first appearance of Deadpool, and a CGC 9.8 just sold last week for $1,733, up 9% over that average. Now, this book has been on and off the list for the better part of 3 or 4 months. You guys know I love the book, only in a 9.8, so that's the grade that I'm sticking to. Regardless, I think $1,700 is a little bit too much to spend right here, right now, with Deadpool coming out over the next couple of years. I'd wait till after that movie comes out and see if this book drops, and then I'd pounce on it around $1,500 or less. Other than that, I'd be staying away. At the 5 spot this week is What Else? It is a copy of Omega Men number 3 and the first appearance of Lobo. I said last week this has to be a record. It's got to be like 18 to 20 weeks that this book has appeared on this list. Regardless, guys, a CGC 9.8 just sold last week for $370, up 11% over the average, but that's also down from the high we had about a couple of months ago of $450. You guys know I said it, if you're going to own this book, it's got to be a 9.8. I don't want to own it right now unless I can get it for around $300. At one point it was probably worth $350 to $375, but now there have been so many sales at a 9.8 or any grade for that matter, I'd be staying away. At the 4 spot this week is a copy of Daredevil number 183 and the first battle between Daredevil and the Punisher. We all know why this book is on this list. Jon Bernthal is confirmed to be showing up in the new Daredevil show on Disney Plus, and a CGC 9.6 just sold last week for $150, up 8% over that average. We also had a CGC 9.4 sale for $85, up 23% over that average. Again, a book I definitely want to own in my collection. You guys know I love The Punisher. I enjoy Daredevil as well, but I don't want to spend crazy amount of money in this book, but I do want it in the collection, so I'm giving it my blessing. Pick up the grade that you guys want to own in your collection. At number 3 this week is a copy of Shazam number 1 and making it 3rd consecutive appearance on this list. Of course, this is the first appearance of Captain Marvel since the Golden Age, now referred to as Shazam, and a CGC 9.4 just sold last week for $200, up a whopping 23% over the average. We also had a CGC 9.2 sale for $165, up a crazy 35% over the average. Again, I heard the movie's not doing too good right now after the first week. Box office sales are down. Regardless, this book is getting hot again. Again, a book I want to own in my collection, but I'm not paying up for it. Again, if you can get an 8.0 copy for around $125, that's where I'd stick to. Other than that, I'd be staying away. At the 2 spot is a Monster Key. It is a copy of Daredevil number 1 and the first appearance and origin of Matt Murdock and Daredevil. And I am shocked at the prices that this book is hitting right now. There's a CGC 3.0 sale that occurred last week for $4,200, up a crazy 26% over the average. We also had a CGC 2.5 sale for $4,500, up a monster 59% over the average. We're talking about 2.5 selling over 3.0 prices. Somebody knows something out there in the community. I don't know what it is. Regardless, this book is on fire, and I'm happy to see it back on the list. I actually just sold my 3.5 copy signed by Charlie Cox to a fellow community member, so now I'm kind of pissed off that I sold that book. I hope he's happy. He just got a monster return on his purchase. And at the top spot this week, it is a copy of Star Wars number 1 and the first appearance of our favorite Star Wars characters, Darth Vader, Luke Skywalker, Princess Leia, C-3PO, and of course R2-D2. And a CGC 9.8 just sold last week for $4,900, up 6% over the average. We also had a CGC 9.6 sale for $1,530, up a crazy 45% over that average. This book is starting to heat up again, all the way at the top spot from not even being on the list the week before. I don't know. Let me know what you think about this one. I definitely want on the book, but I'm not spending anywhere near that money on a high-grade copy. But yes, it's a must-own if you're a Star Wars fan. I hope you guys enjoyed this list this week. A lot of new books on this list. A few that are the same, but a lot of great stuff coming our way. Hopefully Key Collector got our notice to start putting some new books on this list. Regardless, it is now time for my best buy of the week, and you know I had to do it. You know what it is. It is a copy of Daredevil number 1 and the first appearance of Matt Murdock and Daredevil. To me, if you watch my comic book hierarchy videos, this is one of the books I definitely want to own for the long term. It had to be the best buy of the week. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. It's Lawrence over at Mighty Comics and Collectibles saying thank you for watching, and I'll talk to you guys soon.